Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom to you Hebrew Israelites. Gotta give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing the truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwa who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming into another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. And this is a video about the stock market crashing. And you got two economists, which is the two of the main economists on here is Peter Schiff and Ron Paul, letting you know that while you people out there sleep playing games, North America is collapsing, man. So Lord's will is be edifying.
The Argentine peso crashed to record lows, and the new Bolivar has left millions of Venezuelans with worthless paper in their pockets.
Turkey is now plagued with huge deficits, a collapsing currency, and a looming economic crisis, making it the next candidate for a European Union or Federal Reserve bailout. Turkey's combination of low interest rates, money creation, and massive government spending to stimulate the economy parallels the policies the U.S. government has pursued for the past 10 years. Without drastic changes in fiscal and monetary policies, economic trouble in America is around the corner.
And I think as the economy goes back into recession, and as it becomes obvious that we are going to lose the trade war, because we are right now benefiting from the subsidies that foreign economies are extending to us by allowing us to buy what they produce on credit. And when they stop doing that, it's Americans that are going to suffer. And I think the dollar is going to collapse.
Turkey now, America later.
After a little bit of a lull, the international currency crisis is back with a vengeance. Currencies are collapsing in Argentina, Brazil, India, Turkey, and other emerging markets, and central banks are springing into action. It is being hoped that the financial chaos can be confined to emerging markets so that it will not spread to the United States and Europe. But of course, the global financial system is more interconnected today than ever before. The massive wave of debt defaults in emerging markets would inevitably have extremely serious consequences all over the planet. It would be difficult to overstate the potential danger that this new crisis poses for all of us. Emerging market economies went on an unprecedented debt binge over the past decade, and a high percentage of those debts were denominated in US dollars. As emerging market currencies collapse, it is going to become nearly impossible to service any debts denominated in US dollars. That could ultimately mean absolutely enormous losses for international lenders. Our system tends to do fairly well as long as everybody is paying their debts. But once the dominoes begin to tumble, things can get messy really quickly. Let's start our roundup today with India. While India is currently not in as bad shape as some of the other emerging markets, the truth is that they could get there pretty rapidly if they keep going down this path. The Indian rupee fell to a record low following a declining trend all year, which economists attributed to rising oil prices, broader emerging market concerns, and strong month-end dollar demand. It slid to 70.8100 against the dollar after a previous new low just a day before at 70.475. That marked a 10.97% decline since the start of the year. But at least India is doing much better than Argentina. the Argentine peso collapsed to another all-time record low, and at this point it has fallen more than 45% against the US dollar so far this year. As Wolf Richter has noted, the Argentine peso was worth $1 in 2002. Today, it is worth 2.4 cents. That is what a collapse looks like. In a desperate attempt to stop the bleeding, the Argentine Central Bank raised interest rates to 60%. The central bank said it was increasing the amount of reserves that banks have to hold in a bid to tighten fiscal policy and shore up the currency. It hiked rates by 15 percentage points to 60% from 45% and promised not to lower them at least until December. Yes, I know that sounds like I'm reading a misprint, but it's not. Interest rates in Argentina have not been raised to 6%. They have been raised to 60%. Could you imagine what 60% interest rates would do to the U.S. economy?
But if you raise interest rates even a little bit, that's going to come crashing down.
Well, we will get there someday if we don't change our ways, because we are going down the exact same path that Argentina has gone. Things continue to get even worse in Turkey as well. The risks are fast multiplying in Turkey's beleaguered economy. In a clear sign of deterioration, Turkey's economic confidence index plunged 9% month on month. The country's currency, the lira, resumed its downward spiral, and Moody's downgraded 20 financial institutions in Turkey. The financial nightmare in Turkey is the gift that keeps on giving. Their entire system is in the process of imploding.
Yeah, this is all this is coming from.
Hello from Holland, Michigan. We're pretty high tech.
All this
Thanks
come
to
from
our huge
Esau
sidewalks,
Edom.
We can pump and dance down the streets.
All this come from Esau Edom. All this is happening because of Esau Edom, man. All these things are happening because of Esau Edom.
Institutions in Turkey. The financial nightmare in Turkey is the gift that keeps on giving. Their entire system is in the process of imploding, and President Erdogan seems to be in a persistent state of panic these days. The Brazilian central bank directly intervened in the market to keep their currency from plunging to another new all-time record low. The bloodbath in Argentina and Turkey is evident in Brazil, also where Bloomberg reports that the central bank just intervened for the first time since June 22nd. BCB reportedly intervened at 4:20, quote, to provide liquidity, unquote, adding that intervention, intensity and frequency will depend on the market. The BCB also attempted to provide some confidence by reaffirming that monetary policy is not directly linked to recent market shocks.
All this is because of Esau
For the
Edom.
next global financial crisis is over. Major currencies all over the planet are in a death spiral. Many global stock markets are crashing, and economic activity is beginning to decline at a stunning rate in quite a few nations. Over the past 16 years, the emerging market debt bubble has grown from $9 trillion to $63 trillion. Yes, you are listening to that correctly. Now, that emerging market debt bubble is imploding, and as a result, emerging market currencies all over the globe are in complete meltdown. In fact, at least 20 different currencies have fallen by double-digit percentages against the US dollar so far in 2018, and nobody is quite sure what is going to happen next.
All them
You
countries,
may
man.
be tempted to think that this must be a good thing for the United States, since the value of the US dollar has been rising, but it is not. During the boom years, trillions of dollars were borrowed by emerging market economies, and a high percentage of those loans were denominated in US dollars. Now that their currencies are crashing, it's going to take much more local currency to service those US-denominated debts, and a whole lot of them are about to start going bad. That means that many financial institutions here in the United States and over in Europe are going to end up holding enormous piles of bad debt. The losses could potentially be astronomical. The dominoes are starting to fall, and even the mainstream media is admitting that what we are facing is really bad. For example, the following comes from CNBC, from an article entitled, "The Emerging Market Crisis is Back, and this time it's serious." The crisis has engulfed countries across the globe, from economies in South America to Turkey, South Africa, and some...
Slovakia. Got infomercial, so I'm going to pause it until this go through. Because I don't want that playing.
such as India and China. A number of these countries are seeing their currency fall to record levels, high inflation and unemployment, and in some cases, escalating tensions with the United States. When I say that the world has been on the greatest debt binge in human history since the last financial crisis, I am not exaggerating one bit. The emerging market debt bubble is now 3 times larger than it was in 2007, and it's 7 times larger than it was in 2002. Here's more from CNBC. Emerging markets are also heavily plagued by debt, and a stronger dollar makes it tougher for them to pay this debt. The latest data from the Institute of International Finance shows that debt in emerging markets, including China, increased from $9 trillion in 2002 to $21 trillion in 2007, and finally to $63 trillion in 2017. Of course, this bubble was going to burst. Anyone with half a brain should have been able to see that. Now we have a full-blown crisis on our hands, and nobody seems to have any idea how to solve it. As Charles Hugh Smith has observed, emerging market currencies all over the globe are in complete meltdown. As the chart below illustrates, a great many currencies around the world are in complete meltdown. This is not normal. Nations that overborrow, overspend, and print too much of their currency to generate an illusion of solvency eventually experience a currency crisis as investors and traders lose faith in the currency as a store of value. In other words, the faith that it will have the same or more purchasing power in a month that it has today. I'm not sure that I even have the words to describe the financial carnage of that magnitude. Since the financial markets are not crashing here in the United States yet, most Americans do not really seem to be concerned about this crisis at this point. But that is a mistake. This meltdown has started with the weaker nations, but ultimately what we are witnessing is an unraveling of the entire global financial system. The fact that so many currencies are melting down at the same time is telling us the global financial system is unraveling, and unraveling fast. This is a symptom of a fatal disease. Currencies reflect all sorts of financial information. They're akin to taking an economy's pulse, trade balances, debt levels, interest rates, central bank policies, fiscal policies, and so on. The global financial system is interconnected, but this is not a viable excuse for the meltdown. The general explanation floating around is that currency weakness is like the flu. One currency gets it, and then it spreads to the other weak currencies. This diagnosis is misleading.
I've been thinking about trying that new All the Boom diet.
So lucky for the infomercial.
What's actually happening is the unprecedented global bubble of debt and assets of the past decade is popping, and it's laying waste to the most indebted, over-leveraged and mismanaged nations first, either via stock market declines or meltdowns in currencies. This is a point that Charles Hugh Smith made very well as he wrapped up his most recent article. The illusion that the US is immune to the unraveling of debt and asset valuations won't last. When the defaults start piling up, so will the losses, and when the asset bubbles pop, incomes and spending decline. Although few seem to notice, almost half the profits of the S&P 500 corporations are earned overseas. The belief that US markets are somehow disconnected from global markets and immune to the repricing of risk, debt, assets and currencies is magical thinking. I am entirely convinced that we have reached a major turning point. For several years it has seemed like things have been getting better, but it was largely an illusion. Our ridiculously high standard of living was financed by the greatest debt binge in the history of the world, and it was inevitable that a day of reckoning would arrive. Now, that day of reckoning is knocking on the door, and our society is completely and utterly unprepared for what is going to happen next.
Hey, it's over, man. Okay? Destruction, man. Okay, everybody trusting. You got these guys like Chris Green and Jeremy Bay, or however you pronounce his name, and all these other economists. Okay, you had the main two economists that they had on this video, which was Peter Schiff and Ron Paul, man. And they've been talking about North America collapsing and all the other countries, man, because they are using the petrodollar, man. Okay? So, while you people out there having fun, enjoying life, thinking things are going to continue the same way they is, Norman Tobias, listen, man, that's the same thing that happened in Rome. Okay? While Rome was crashing, while the denaro was crashing, their monetary system, Rome set up coliseums, man, the stadiums, to give you entertainment. What we got today, man, all these different TV shows, entertainment, all these different sports. Now you got soccer that hitting North America real heavy. So these Edomites, these elites, the Rothschilds, starting with the Rothschild, the head family, got you entertained with all these different circuses, man, to keep you occupied with these TV shows, and everybody last night was watching the NFL draft and all this other madness, man. The economy is collapsing, man. The dollar is crashing. And you got guys like Chris Green and all these other guys talking about invest in Bitcoin while you can. Get in and get it up and sell and all that. Listen, man. This is what the Lord say to you dummies, man. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity, man. So your gold and silver your gold and silver is a stumbling block of your iniquity, man. Okay? You have been deceived, man. This is the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Your gold and silver will not save you. I don't care how much stocks you got up and how much you done sold and you got millions. Hey, you heard it say at the beginning of this movie, man. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to play it again. Listen to what this lady finna say, man.
The Argentine peso crashed to record lows, and the new Bolivar has left millions of Venezuelans with worthless paper in their pockets.
You see that? Worthless paper in their pockets, man.
Turkey
Have left them with worthless paper in their pocket, man. Okay? This money is worthless, man. These FRNs is nothing. Even with your Bitcoins, the Lord said your gold and silver, you will cast it into the street, man. because it will not save you, man. Okay? This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. You done took. Listen, all your FRNs, your gold and silver is nothing, man. Say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay. That thick clay, when you look it up, it's talking about debt, man. Okay? And what they talking about in this video, nothing but debt, man. All these other countries, man, Argentina, India, Turkey, all these countries is going into debt because of who? The North American Edomites, man. Okay? Babylon the Great. Mystery Babylon. The virgin daughter of Babylon, man. It said, who laden himself with thick clay. Okay? That's that debt, man. That's why Isaiah 47:1 say this, man. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay? You shall no more be called tender and delicate, man. You are destroyed. You have become the weakest nation, man. And you are weakening the rest of the countries, okay? Except Russia, North Korea, and China. Okay? And Iran, man. Because Iran got all the oil. This is James chapter 5 and 1. And it reads, go to now, ye rich man, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. And the rust of your gold and silver is being a witness against you right now, man. You can see it right now. Because you have destroyed all these other countries with the petrodollar, man. And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Amen. Your gold and silver is nothing, man. Okay? It's nothing. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 11. How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. Now Maktesh today is talking about North America, okay? Because that which was shall be again, and there's nothing new under the sun, man. So you Edomites is destroying, what the Lord said in Revelation 11:18, he will destroy them who's destroying the earth. Matter of fact, let me read it. Revelation chapter 11 verse 18. And the nations were angry. And they are angry because North America has pushed this petrodollar on these other countries, and now they are in debt because of North America. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to his saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, which are the 144,000, the elect, and the rest of the 1/3, and shouldest destroy them which destroyeth the earth. You Edomites have destroyed the entire planet with your democracy, your philosophies, your legislations, man. Okay? With your corrupt system, man. With your FRN notes. You have corrupted the entire planet, man. Okay, what Master P said, North America was built on corruption, man. Okay? Once you Edomites came over the entire planet, your cities was built on corruption, man. Corruption. And now, okay, your gold and silver shall be a rust against you, man. And you can see it happening every day, man. Okay? What James was quoting, what James wrote, okay, in James chapter 5, man, verse 1 and 2 is what you're seeing right now in North America and other parts around the world, man. So I just wanted to do this because I seen it was very edifying. So Lord's willing, you edified. You gotta give our praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the ark of preaching the truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up the hope for the elect. Shalom to the Akwa who are listening and learning. Amen. While y'all out there playing games, your money is collapsing, man. It's becoming nothing but worthless paper in your pockets, in your wallets, in your bank accounts. Shalom.